Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is John McTavish. How you doing, John?
Doing well. Thanks everyone for tuning in audio or video podcast for a review. Thanks for checking it out.
So today we are talking about the Ace Prime, a Cuban Experience El Elegante. This cigar is a Lancero, 7.5 by 37. Comes out of the Tabacalera Pichardo factory in Nicaragua. The wrapper is Ecuadorian Habano, binder and filler both from Nicaragua. Cigar is blended by Luciano Mireles. Price point is $15. Cigar was released in July of 2019. So with all that out of the way, John, what was your overall experience with this cigar like?
I would say overall my experience was pretty average. The flavors that presented in the first third were interesting. There's some bready notes, some creaminess and baking spices, some leather, a little bit of cocoa, but to coin a Loomis phrase, it didn't really pop for me. I kept expecting those flavors to kind of go somewhere, and they were kind of present and they were interesting, but they didn't pop. They didn't harmonize. They didn't really elevate the experience for me. Second third was largely cedar, and then the last third was largely cedar. So, throughout there was some interesting cinnamon notes, but again, nothing that really elevated the cigar to me above anything in the marketplace that's already at that point with an average level. I did have a great burn experience. You shouldn't really take it for granted, both of the price point and the Vitola. Lanceros are notoriously difficult to roll, and they're kind of a pain. I had a very straight burn, and ash kind of like clockwork was dropping off at 3/4 increments. So if you're smoking one of these, have an ashtray handy, because you're not going to get a long ash, or at least I didn't get a long ash out of this. Draw was perfect. So overall, while the construction was great, the flavor experience for me was pretty average. What about you?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with the musty cedar and baking spice, and that was kind of the core throughout the entire smoking experience. There were some moments of creamy coffee, some vegetal notes. Construction was interesting. The burn was perfect, like through the first 4 inches of the cigar, and then like in rapid succession, the cigar went out 3 times,
Wow.
and then it was a little wavy after that. So there was just like a section of the cigar that just did not want to burn, and that knocked it down, the burn score down a little bit. So that was a bit of a bummer, as after it was burning great. Thought the draw was perfect on it, but strength built from mild medium up to medium. The cigar had a good flavor profile. It had like it was just a small number of flavors, but they were simple, but they were well done, is kind of how I would explain it. It was just I don't know. It kind of fit the Vitola, kind of just being like kind of low key for me. So I maybe just everything kind of fell into place together there. This is the first cigar that I smoked from the company. So it has me interested in smoking some of the other offerings. So, this is the brand that has the cigars with Dominique Wilkins, Tiago Splitter. So, kind of wondering, like, is this kind of a celeb type take on cigars and things like that? But with this one, it's got me intrigued enough to want to go a little bit deeper in the portfolio. So, people that like, musty cedar, they like baking spice. I think this is a definite try for them. If you like that kind of low strength, mellow profile, or if you're, Lancero fan, I think it's all worthwhile to check it out. Price point's a bit high, so, try one out, see what you think before you kind of go deep on any of these. But getting into the scores, I was the high scorer at 6.52. John was next at 5.75. So I think my score matches up. It was good through the first 2 thirds. The final third took a little bit of a hit. That may have been partly due to that burn issue, where I had to do three relights and probably a half an inch. So that can never be good, and how it helps the flavors out. And construction was kind of iffy with that burn issue, but perfect draw. So perfect draw. So if it had a better burn, it would have been 6 3/4, but that's about it. So it's not a huge thing. So I think it matched up well. How was the 5.75 for you, John?
Yeah, that's bang on for me. When I talk about an average cigar experience, again, average doesn't mean bad. It just means that this cigar didn't necessarily offer anything that another cigar off the shelf, sort of randomly in the market that's already established, wouldn't. So, it was pleasant. And, as you say, the flavors there were interesting. There wasn't a lot of them. I think they were nuanced. They didn't bowl the palate over at any point, but I was expecting more. I was expecting those flavors to go to a higher level, especially when you talk about a Lancero and then you add the price point on top of that, which doesn't really factor into our flavor score. To me, 575 is average, but I am a little disappointed because I was expecting a little bit more out of that cigar.
Yeah, I think anytime we get a Lancero, we just have these expectations.
Romanticized.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
romanticized. Like I want this cigar to be great,
Yeah.
because if I can find this great Lancero, then it just I don't know
Everything's right in the world.
exactly. So yeah, you have a little extra disappointment when it's just an average cigar in a Lancero format.
No, I will echo what you said about the fact that I was a little concerned that it was going to be a bit of a gimmick cigar, just with some of the branding and celebrities behind it. So I am impressed because in the past, I would say my experience with those types of cigars is they would be below average.
Right.
The cigars and the tobacco would be an afterthought. So in that regard, I think it's certainly better than expectations. And I am obviously looking forward to some of the other stuff that Ace Prime has to offer. Um, I just hope that the other offerings maybe have a little bit more complexity to them for me.
Yep, exactly. All right, if you're just catching that video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. But also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.